what is happening to our families. I don't know about you guys, but I have seen in just lately our families fall apart.
Yeah.
I mean, just being dismantled.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a look at this video where a 12 and a 14-year-old children, a boy and a girl, were involved in a police shooting.
Travis O'Brien and a 14-year-old girl are accused of opening fire on cops during a 30-minute shootout.
They were coming out to kill cops.
The 12-year-old did not speak during today's hearing, at which the judge referred to him as Mr. O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien.
Cops say the boy and the girl ran away from a home for troubled youth. They broke into a house and found 2 shotguns. When cops arrived, the girl reportedly said to the boy, "I'm gonna roll this down like GTA."
Don't make me do this.
You can hear the restraint of the deputies pleading not to have to use their guns.
Cops say the girl, seen in this photo given to the news media by her father, was shot and wounded when she refused orders to drop the shotgun and opened fire from behind a parked car. 30 seconds later, young Travis O'Brien came out of the house with his hands raised.
We believe that Satan is I put in my notes, he's trying to dismantle our families. I think he's doing a really good job of dismantling our families. Don't you agree?
Well, yeah. I mean, we really have to be aware of that,
Yeah.
that the father of lies is out there, and that's the best thing he could do is to separate, destroy
the family,
dismantle our family.
Even though Satan is trying to dismantle our families, there are things that we can do to not allow him to do that. Just because he tries to do it doesn't mean that he has to be successful in your family. And these are some of the things that you need to look at and fight against it. Both parents are working. And a lot of this, I believe, that either is from the people overspending or our economy. Yeah. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But our economy is really bad right now, and it's forcing both parents to work.
Right.
And Satan loves that because the parents aren't at home anymore. And Kim and I, later in this video, are going to share a very personal story of ours.
About our child.
About our child.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's hard because, we'll talk about political, but right now, our current, or in the past 3 years, our current leadership has put a huge strain on working class, honest middle families, where toilet paper costs $33 just to wipe your butt. I mean, it's ridiculous, and this puts a huge strain, and I believe that Satan influences the leadership to do this, so that the middle class is just being torn apart, and they just can't afford to live.
Right.
So they, in turn, have to go both to work, and your kids are at home.
And while we're talking about this, I'm just sitting here thinking, well, what am I supposed to do about it? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I know, it's really hard.
I've got to work to put food on the table.
I know.
But yet, I've got to figure out how to raise my kids right, or be there for my kids.
We did a video about should a Christian vote democracy, and we'll put the link in up here. And it was really themed of how, the leadership, I guess, just in the past couple of years is really, it's not about raising taxes and I'm going to do this for you, and I'm going to cut your debt and I'm going to give you a tax credit. They're forcing moral and social issues on us, our families, and our children, which is hurting our families. Because they're not really promoting, but they're not doing anything about, like, no prayer in school. So they take that out. And they allow schools to teach non-gender and all this stuff. So we're getting our kids so confused, and the kids come home and you're like, oh my goodness, You're fighting against something that's just hard.
Yeah, and to me, you know what? It's none of your business.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it's none of these social issues. It's my family.
Yeah.
Let me decide what I want to do with my
Right.
children or not want them to learn something I don't want them to learn. Let
Right.
me decide that.
Right. I mean, I'm really, with what's going on right now currently, I am scared for the children that are being raised up right now and that will someday be parents and leading this country.
Right.
That's a scary thought.
That's a scary thing. It is.
And that hopefully, I hope this gets a little personal, and hopefully some people that are watching this makes them think.
Yeah.
But parents are not parenting. In fact, it's getting so bad. We found this video where a sheriff in Florida was not only going to start to punish the children, and this is about gun violence and the shootings and
Bomb
the bombs, and you know, and he's sick of these kids doing this.
Right.
That he said that he was going to actually start to punish the parents along with the children.
Yeah.
So let's watch this video.
So far, 54 tips have come in through Fortify Florida talking about school shootings. All of them have been deemed bogus. We have 2 people in custody. We have another person who we're investigating and probably will take into custody. I can't say this clear. You don't stand up on an airplane and yell hijack. You don't walk into a movie theater and yell fire. And you don't get online and post that you're going to shoot up a school. It's going to get your sent to jail. And now, for you parents out there, today's hoax cost around $21,000. There's 2 people in custody. We're coming after you. And starting Monday, your little cherub, we're going to start publishing his face and doing perp walks with him when we take him into custody. And then we're going to show pictures of you, the parents. Because you don't want to raise your kid, Sheriff Chitwood's going to raise them. You think it's a joke, you're going to find your in handcuffs, and you're going to find your being paraded out in front of the news media behind me, and your parents are going to be filmed as they come to pick you up. So parents, get your kids in line, or your checkbook's going to hurt and your pride's going to hurt. I promise.
So, wow. I mean, what do you think about that?
I mean, you know, boy, it's bold.
It's bold.
I mean, it's bold, but yet you kind of think, well, this is good. I mean, because it's so hard, because I get it. Parenting is hard, and we're so strapped. I mean, we're just spread so thin.
Yeah.
But, you know, you chose to have this child.
Right.
This person is not an adult yet, hopefully.
No.
And you've got to be there for them to teach them about society. Buying them a gun is probably not a great idea. You need to be there for your kid. You need to lock the guns up, and let's not get off on the gun violence. But for the sheriff to call out the parent, you need to take responsibility. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean,
if that's the way you got to do it, then that's the way you got to do it.
You need to know what's going on in your kid's life.
I wouldn't want my picture plastered out on the media.
I wouldn't want mine
Seriously,
either.
I'd be so embarrassed.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would be embarrassed. So, what do you guys think? I mean, about the sheriff? I mean, do you think he's right? Do you think he's wrong? Is it too harsh? Is it too soft? Let us know what you think in the comments below.
Yeah.
You know, some other things with your children. I mean, it's a shame. And I don't know if you guys have seen this before. You know, you go out to a restaurant. And a restaurant is a great place because your kids can't leave to go play a game or go to their friend's house or what have you, check social media. But you see a couple with like 2 children sitting at the table, and all of them are on their phones. And this is poor parenting. I mean, flat out. This is the one time that y'all put down your cell phones and talk to them.
Yeah.
How is school going? What are you learning in school? I mean, you probably could learn so much from your kids instead of just checking TikTok.
Yeah.
Or their social media pages.
And I think
it's sad.
It's sad. I think with kids, you've got to make it fun, though.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to go through this whole 3rd degree thing. You know, you make it fun. And you know, we used to take our child out and teach them about how to say yes and no and thank you and order even.
Right. Communicate.
Teach them how to order with the waitress or waiter and that kind of thing. Take the time out to teach them about your surroundings and the world. And there's so many other things to talk about rather than give them the third degree. Because, most kids are like, whatever, mom and dad. I'm not going to tell you about school, seriously.
Right. So we would really encourage you, just, maybe evaluate what's going on in your house.
Right.
And are you being a good parent? Are you not being a good parent? I think we could all be better parents.
Oh, always.
But hopefully, this will give you, I don't know, some...
I think this is what it comes down to. Our world is changing.
Yeah, it is.
There is a lot going on. And a lot of it is negative, but there's still positive out there. I think nowadays versus 15, 20 years ago, you've got to be more present for your children because they are dealing
There's a lot of
with so much.
Right.
And so much of that society needs to be explained to them. And are you going to be that person that explains it? Or is it going to be the world that explains it? And then they conform to the world. And we don't want that. We don't want them, we need to be there with them, teaching them about Jesus. I mean, that's all it comes down to. Right?
Yeah. So we had a son, Tyler, who we really made an effort. I mean, everything was focused on Tyler. And then that's not to say we were perfect parents, because we weren't.
No.
I mean, you go into parenting and there is no book, but our goal was to always teach him to be a better person, to teach him morals, to teach him values, to teach him to be a good Christian. And there are times, like in our lives, when you do everything right. And Tyler ended up taking his life. And I guess what I'm saying is, you can do everything right as a parent, and still I don't know how to put it. The world. He was a very strong-willed child. He was a very strong-willed child.
He was.
And we had trouble keeping him, in the playing field, because he would shoot out to the left, shoot out to the right. And I would say that towards the end, Tyler he wanted out of our household. Yeah. And it's really sad because his friends just accepted him.
Were too much of an influence.
Yeah. And that's the reason, when he was with us in our household, we could teach him, we could direct him. Yeah. We got into a lot of fights together, but we always came out...
Normal teenager.
Normal teenager. We always came out with feeling good about it.
Yeah.
You fight, but you feel good about it.
Yeah.
But once he left, and I would say some of this would be society and friends,
family,
and other issues dragged him down, and we couldn't reach him anymore.
Right.
Did you want to add anything?
And I think the biggest lesson out of that whole thing is that not having regrets.
Yes.
We did everything we felt as a parent that we could do to get a hold of this kid. I mean, we went to, trust me, you don't even want to hear what we did to try and reach this child.
Right.
And, they have free will.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it. But we feel good about the fact that we tried so hard and were always there for him.
Yep.
I always tried to be, even though he had run away and he wasn't part of the household, we still tried to reach out. We never gave up.
Yeah. So I guess the biggest thing is, be a good parent, and like Kim said, so that if something does happen, and even an accident could happen, something that's out of your control, you did everything that you could for that child. And a tragedy might happen, but you feel good. I mean, you're broken about the tragedy, and that will always be a part of you.
Yeah.
But you can say, you know what, I did everything I could.
I was there, I was committed.
Yep.
Tough love.
Right.
I mean, teaching God's word. You just always, you never give up.
Right.
Oh, I'm going to close it up.
You are always Kim is the closer.
Okay, guys. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video, and it makes you think a little bit.
Yeah.
We all need to grow. We all need to learn. We're all learning about this crazy world out there, but there's still places for us to grow and be more positive.
Yeah.
So have a great day, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.